Hello everybody and welcome to this first part of a vlog that I'm going to do on building a Swedish army for Team Yankee. As a few of you know, I've looked through the Nordic Forces book and Sweden was kind of the force I really wanted to go with. So what I have here before me is about 100 points worth of Swedish forces, and from the last video we did where we were looking through the book and talking about army lists and stuff, I've tweaked the Swedish list a little bit and got it all together and thought, well, it's about time we built it, isn't it? So, as you can see, there is quite a lot of stuff to get through, but we'll start with the order I have the army list built in. So, Shay, my cameraman, if you want to come over here. We're going to start with this box because it contains all the S-tanks that we need. And it's only the S-tanks we're using from this box, so there's 8 of them. That's going to give me 3 platoons of, 2 platoons of 3 plus 2 tanks as my HQ. That is one basically entire formation on its own. So they're going to be the main punch of the army. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about infantry. In fact, there's one infantry platoon with that formation as well, which is going to be one of these boxes, along with enough transports to handle them. I believe also in that formation there's going to be another unit of these which are going to be my reconnaissance troop or my recce troop. From there, our next formation is basically infantry centric. So it's going to be the other 2 platoons, the other 2 infantry platoons with their corresponding transports as well. We've 4 boxes of these in total and 2 of them are for that formation. The important stuff in this list is the formation support, is the actual army list support choices. So the first choice is 3 Centurions because I really wanted some Centurions in this list. It wouldn't feel right if I wasn't including something like this. So they're just a little bit of extra tank support, probably going to roam around with the infantry just to give them a little something while the S-tanks are off doing what S-tanks do, which is S-tank things. I think that's very good. On to our artillery. I mentioned it before in other videos, band cannons. These look really cool. I really wanted to get a few of those into the list. So we have 3 of them in this box, which will be another part of the support. What is the most punchy part of the support, however, is my Viggens, my Saab Viggens, because these are the best car Saabs ever built. Fight me. And we have 4 of those, so 2 boxes of 2. And that basically wraps up all the support choices for the army. So what am I going to do? Well, first off, I'm going to take it away, build it all up, make sure everything's correct, that the right amount of infantry bases there are for the army list. And after that, it's going to be breaking it down into color schemes. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is all the S-tanks, all the Viggens are going to go that 4-tone scheme that we did in the 3CU previously. Everybody else is going to be going the more basic sort of just the flat green. And I think with the Viggens and the S-tanks being in that iconic, very unique scheme for the Swedish, it's going to make this look really interesting on the tabletop when it's all done. I'm not sure about basing for infantry yet, whether I want to go snow, mud, grass, foresty kind of stuff. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think on that, because it's probably going to take me a while to build and paint this all up before we get to any sort of basing stage. But in general, that's it. So I'm going to take this all off and build it, and well, you'll see shortly what the army looks like when it's all built anyway. So it's been a day or 2 and the army is now all built. So here it all is. We have our 8 S-tanks in the middle. We have all our infantry. We have 2 infantry platoons here, which constitute 1 infantry company. So they have the 2 platoons plus the leader unit in the front. Moving across, we have the other infantry platoon, which is the attached platoon for the S-tanks, so they're on the same formation. Then we have our divisional support, or our formation support of 3 Centurions. We then have our recce troop, which is 3 of the APCs, all for recce. We then have the 3 band cannons back here. They have also, because I had a spare one of these, an OP vehicle. So for an extra point, an OP vehicle is basically a no-brainer. And at the back, of course, the glorious Viggens. These things are monstrous, both on card and miniature-wise. So the build was pretty straightforward. I started with the infantry, figured all who goes on what base, what upgrades I was going to take. So they all have the Bill anti-tank missile team. They're all the M49 Carl Gustaf style weapons as well, so the slightly upgraded ones. That allows them to fire on the move, and then when they've set up, the Bills can then fire as well and give you a real good anti-tank punch. So from here, we're going to end part one here, basically, because we're going to move on to painting. So the next stage is going to be priming the miniatures and then figuring out my color combinations and stuff like that. What's going the 4-tone camouflage that everyone wants me to paint, and what isn't going the 4-tone camouflage that everyone wants me to paint, because we ain't doing it all. We're not doing it all. We might do it all. We'll find out. But that's for part one. So we now have the army all built, and it's time to get the resin metal hybrid models washed, cleaned, dried, and ready for priming. So in part two, we'll have a look at the army when it's primed, and we'll talk about the colors.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.